but the battery's like so worn out.
Okay, cool. Perfect. Now we're going to go with the other one. Let's spin the best lighting for everyone.
Perfect. This is so cool.
All right. Ready?
All right, I guess so. Here goes nothing.
Just let it flow. Happens.
Yay.
There we go. All right, look at me, bud. Come on. Okay, cool. All right, ready?
Yep,
cool.
Let's do it.
What's up, family? Welcome back to another episode of the Dag Life podcast here at the Dean Aguilar Group headquarters in San Diego. Today's very special guest, a very dear friend of mine, a very good friend on the team, one of the rising stars, one of the top producers on the team here, Miss Sarah Meester. How are you?
I'm doing so good, Lewis. I'm so excited to be here.
Excited
Thank
to
you so
have you.
much for having me.
For sure. Excited to have you. I know this is something that, one, you're going to love doing because you love doing videos for your own social media, and it's awesome to see, whether they're fun, quirky, real estate related, wherever that looks like. Obviously, right up your wheelhouse. So
Yeah,
tell
thank
us a little bit about Sarah and how Sarah got into real estate.
Yeah, so what happened with me is I was going to school for event management. I actually went to California Polytechnic over in San Luis Obispo.
Okay.
And while I was there, I was a little bit lost in college, like most of us are. So I kind of settled down on event management, which is kind of a weird thing to get into, but I got into it. It was really great. I was very into concerts and festivals growing up.
Okay.
So I did a lot of my internship with music festivals.
Love
it was a really cool experience, but once I got out to the workforce and realized I needed to make money in order to live in San Diego,
For sure.
it started to get a lot tougher to maintain the life that I wanted while doing that work, unfortunately. Right. So it was more of like growing pains, just going through things and then realizing I needed to do something maybe more entrepreneurial.
Yeah, you got it. You got it. That's it.
It's so hard to speak.
You're good.
Words are hard, but
words are hard.
Anyway, so I went ahead and I didn't really even know what I was getting myself into, to be quite honest with you. Like I just kind of did it. And I just liked the idea of, there not being a cap financially and obviously like helping people as well along the way, but just really taking your growth into your own hands and being your own boss was really what got me here.
Love that. And I think, one, thank you for your story, right? Obviously learning a little bit more about yourself and each other through this process, and obviously learning being closer to you on the team because you're here a lot, you're in the office a lot, and obviously working side by side with you a lot. It's been amazing to see you grow. And we talk with you about this all the time of where you started compared to where you are now is night and day. And it's been super amazing to see. And I know the transition's often hard for everyone. Everyone has their own reason of getting into real estate. Obviously, time, flexibility, scheduling, your own boss, entrepreneurial mindset. It takes a very particular kind of person to be able to thrive in this environment, which you do so well at. So it wasn't easy at first. It isn't for anyone, to be honest. Obviously, everyone knows that. Talk to me a little bit about what the transition was like for you. And did you hit a wall? How'd you break through that wall? What exactly was the process for you like to get to where you are now?
Yeah, well, thank you so much for all of those kind words. I truly don't deserve it. But I mean, obviously, as you mentioned, just a really tough industry to break into. Mm-hmm. Really, I feel like the reason that I've been successful is the fact that I didn't have anything to lean on. It was this or nothing. And obviously, I enjoy it. I enjoy talking to people and being around people and just providing services for people. So that's what motivates me. That's what gets me excited every day in this industry. But yeah, just really not having anything to lean on. I mean, I had some really hard times first starting out. I was working 2 jobs when I first got into real estate. I would literally be working like 70, 80-hour weeks just to try to make things happen for myself. And so there were nights when I would get in the shower and I would just cry.
And
So
sometimes that's what it takes.
exactly. So, people see all of the success, but they don't see what went behind it and how much sacrifice it
Right.
took to get there. And it's just exciting to kind of see things finally paying off.
And I love that. And I think the vulnerability component of how hard it is to break through an industry like this, and what it takes to really, for a lot of people, end up tapping out. And a lot of people like yourself breaking through that wall and that barrier of getting to where you are now. And those sleepless nights, those crying in the shower nights, and working multiple jobs to get to where you don't have to work another job at the same time. And I am going to bring it up because it's something that we challenged you to do about a year ago. What exactly was the pretty much goal that we put on you to make for yourself with your previous job? Talk to us a little bit about that,
Oh
the
gosh.
anxiety that came with it, and how you just fucking did it.
Right. So when I was first starting out, obviously, as I mentioned previously, I was working two jobs.
Right.
I have been in the industry for as long as I could remember. I bartended in college to get through college. I waitressed, all of the above, ever since I was like 16 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So the good thing about that is you always kind of know how to grind and hustle. I was making tips, so it made breaking into this industry a little bit less hard, but at the same time, obviously, it was very time consuming as
Right.
well.
Of course.
So, working both jobs at that same time was a lot. And at the time, when I had joined the team, probably like 3, 4 months in, I let everyone know, like, I need to quit my second job. I cannot be doing this forever. What do I need to do to get there? And so obviously, I just tried to hustle as much as possible, tried to fast track the process. Of course, it took more time than any of
And
us
there's
could expect,
and there's
but
nothing wrong
it
with that.
happens. But exactly, you guys gave me a timeline. I ended up making one of my bigger deals right after that. So I was able to quit my industry job pretty much right after that. But obviously, um,
It's scary.
yeah, it's scary. It's really
It
scary.
is.
And all I have to say is adulting's really hard. College does not prepare you for
No,
what comes next.
it does
And
not.
when you're living in San Diego, and obviously it's the most beautiful place in the United States, but they don't prepare you for how much it's going to cost you to thrive in
For
San
sure.
Diego. You know the drill.
Of course, and I think it comes down to, it comes down to a lot of things, right? But at the same time, um, what I often tell people, and it's something that I've kind of been living my own life for the past 10, 15 years now, is nothing prepares you for life more than life itself. And when you go through those life experiences, when you go through those challenges and the difficulties, that's what's really going to make you grow the most. So putting yourself on that timeline to get out of the industry and to quit your second job to be able to go full time in real estate, I think that's propelled you in the industry more than a lot of other people that have their one foot in, one foot out. And we talk about all the time is there's two types of realtors. There's the realtor that wants real estate to work out if it ends up working out. And then there's realtors where it's plan A, there's no plan B. There's no going back. We have to burn the bridges, burn the ships. It's real estate and nothing else. And you took that and ran with it to where this is literally real estate and nothing else for you. So commend you for that. That's something to be super proud of. I know you beat yourself up more than most people I know, and it comes with the territory of having the entrepreneurial mindset and always wanting to do more than you're doing, but also being content and satisfied with understanding that you might not be where you want to be yet, but you're no longer where you used to be. So I need to commend you on that.
Thank you so much. I
Comes with
really appreciate it.
of course, and obviously we've loved seeing the growth, and it comes with a lot of hoops to jump through. It comes with a lot of challenges, comes with a lot of growing up, comes with a lot of adulting, and a lot of very internal conversations of, am I going to make it, and am I doing enough to make it, which you clearly have. If you could talk about a couple of the most important lessons that you've learned in real estate so far in your early career, what would those look like?
Oh gosh, I mean, there's so many. I would say a lot of people, and especially when I was first starting, I was just kind of doing anything and everything. So
Mm-hmm.
I think finding the ways to connect with people that you truly enjoy rather than just going a bunch of different avenues. Like for me, I hate cold calling. Like I'll be the first person to admit it. So I like to double down on open houses because it's much more natural for me to speak with people in person.
Right.
And then obviously social media, I try on social media.
You do a hell of a job on social media.
Oh gosh. I mean, I still have a lot to learn and a lot of growth there, but you know, just having these avenues that don't make you want to hate yourself every single day. I think that that's really important because obviously what people don't know is it's a 7-day-a-week job. So you have to make sure that you're enjoying yourself along the way, because if
Right.
not, you're going to hate what you're doing. And then why continue on something that takes 7 days a week, so much rejection, if you're not doing it your way?
Right.
So I think that that's really important. And what's so funny is like when I first started, how we talked about I had the 2 jobs. My dad told me, he's like, it's going to take you like a year and a half, 2 years before you're going to start seeing success to the point where you're going to be comfortable and you're going to have like consistent clients and things like that. And for some reason, when I had first started, I thought it was just going to happen overnight. Like I'm telling you, Lewis, when I said I didn't know what I was getting myself into, like I really didn't know what I was getting myself into.
I think most people don't, right? We don't know what to be prepared for until we kind of see it firsthand, because just like school doesn't prepare you for life. School prepares you to be a part of the workforce for other people, right? When it comes to real estate, the exams, the courses we take to get our license does not prepare you for real estate. The only thing that prepares you for actual real estate is actually being engulfed in the conversation, contributing, being a part of the atmosphere, being a sponge in the community, and obviously taking it all in and taking all those fucking rejections left and right. That's a
Yeah.
big part of it.
And speaking of rejections, I mean, I love how you brought that up, because another thing that is honestly really important to learn from is every rejection, it's going to make you so much stronger. And I've failed so many times for my few wins. And people don't realize that it's constant rejection. And there's the few times that everything works out, but it really does make you stronger. And I actually enjoy having almost like my worst attributes being shown in my face all the time, if that makes sense.
For
Like
sure.
it kind of grows you as a human, and every time someone doesn't vibe with you or like something goes wrong, it teaches you so much so you can course correct and be like, okay, well, I'm not going to do that next time. And then obviously, okay, this brings me to my actual biggest lesson.
Let's go.
Not everyone is going to be your people.
100%.
And so when people are telling you no, and you can be honest with yourself and be like, you know what? Maybe me and so just didn't vibe. Like he was super driver, you know, and
And
maybe
that's
I'm not
okay.
that person. And I'm more woohoo, like let's go have fun kind of realtor, I
Right.
guess. And so when you meet those people and maybe they don't vibe with you and they don't end up hiring you as their realtor, it's also okay, because it's creating space for the people who love you and understand you
100%.
and value you. So that's number one.
Absolutely. And there's a lot to unwrap there, right?
Yeah.
So one, I love you for that. Thank you for,
Yeah.
again, being vulnerable. I think it's one of your biggest strengths because you are so honest and open with yourself. And there's one phrase that I think can attribute to that, and it's growth mindset. It takes a lot to open up about the things that you have areas of improvement. I'll never say things that you suck at. Things that we all have areas of improvement on certain things. The growth mindset and delayed gratification is what's going to get you there, and you have that. A lot of people don't. So when it comes to separating yourself from kind of not the pack, but in terms of like where you're headed compared to a lot of other people, the growth mindset's what's going to separate you in that regard, right? So in terms of not everyone's going to be your tribe or your vibe or your thrive or your people, that's true. You know, there's certain people that we're just not going to get along with. We're not always going to win the client. We're not always going to win the transaction. That's a part of life. And rejection, just like everything I get on the weekends, Friday, Saturday nights, rejected all the time. It's just redirection. It happens.
It happens to the best of us.
It's just redirection to something or someone better.
Right.
And I think you've been able to take that with a stride and run with it, albeit there have been some ups and downs. And again, we'll always revert back to challenges. But when you're able to overcome those challenges in the way that you have, it brings you to the rising star of DAG, right? Or the comeback kid of DAG, right? Or the direction that you're headed compared to where most people are, where a lot of people will get knocked down and they'll stay down. And that's not you. So it's been proud to see that.
Thank you so much. I mean, obviously, I have my moments. So,
we all do.
Like I said, I love to cry in the shower. So I have my 15-second funerals, but honestly, moving on from that and just realizing it's life.
Yeah.
You like, no one's here to hold your hand. You just have to freaking make it, or it's all on you.
That's it. All we can do is the best we can do with what we have, the knowledge that we have, and the time that we have it. So obviously, in terms of the knowledge that you've gained and that you've earned and that you've worked for to get to where you are now, obviously, you want to talk about DAG, obviously the family, the crew,
Yeah.
right? In terms of your transition into real estate and finding DAG and being a part of the family, what was that transition like, and what made you ultimately choose DAG?
Well, I'm so excited to talk about this actually because I feel like I owe so much of my success to this team. And this is not me being cheesy or like trying to bring people over,
I
you
think,
know, the drill.
yeah,
But
I think a lot of us can say that, right?
genuinely, like this has been so life changing for me. I started on a team prior and mainly I was an assistant. And to be honest, like I loved my mentor. Shout out Asia Lechowitz. She's
What
a
up, Asia?
she's a top producer in North County, and she taught me so much because she knows how to run a freaking business, and I want to be just like her. So I feel like that was an important part of my journey. But I mean, Dag just completely catapulted me between the trainings, the culture, the people. I mean, mainly it's just I've never been in a room where so many people genuinely care when you're obviously like there to be in a business
Right.
together, but they're nurturing your growth. They care about how you're doing. They're asking you questions that are like off the record. And just being here honestly has been such a great collaboration experience. And that's why I go into the office so much because it's like when I'm having a crappy day and I have 10 things that are going wrong within my business, I can always lean on my team to help lift me up. So it's been really great. I can't say enough.
I think that we can all agree that it's been life changing for a lot of us. I was speaking with Lindsay at another point in one of our episodes, and something I explained to her is, yeah, for me it is bias. DAG is all I know since I got into real estate. I've never once felt an ounce of my being like I ever needed to be anywhere else. And I think it's a testament to not only the culture and the community that we have, but the contribution that we all have to each other, right? From a support perspective. And obviously being treated like family and acting, not just acting, but showing that we care about everyone. And we are in an industry where we are essentially competing against each other too when it comes to clients and homes and offers. How many times do we all submit offers for clients on the same house? Where there's
Yeah.
4 or 5 of us writing offers on the same house, but it's a fun competition. So I don't think you really find that anywhere else. And again, yes, I am biased, but in terms of having over 700 conversations with agents looking to join DAG over the last 2 years, it kind of goes to show one, the interest of our team, and also, you know, other places that don't have it so well. And it's kind of unfortunate to see where there are still some places that do real estate team components in a very old school way of I'm not going to share my secret sauce. And with us, it's all about sharing with the world about what we have and how we are successful, and just pouring into the agents just like yourself. And I think it's a culmination of who we are as a crew that makes our team so successful.
I completely agree with you. Agree with that. Honestly, like it really stuck out to me. Like we really are here to just raise each other up. And I've heard so many horror stories of people stealing each other's clients on other
For
teams,
sure.
or like they're in whispers if they're going on a listing appointment. And it's like I could never imagine that happening here. It's wild to think
Yeah,
about.
it's hard to think about, and it sucks to see and hear. But at least at the end of the day, we can sleep well knowing that we don't have that circumstance going on here, which is cool to see. So obviously, with again, I'll always revert back to where you were, where you've been, and where you're at now. And in terms of kind of looking at your path in real estate ahead, whether it's the next 12 months, the next 3 to 5 years, what does that look like for you, and what are you most excited about?
Yeah, so I mean, there's so much that I'm excited about. Honestly, I feel like I'm finally getting to the point where I can look into branding, I can look into growing my business. Maybe at some point, I'd like to have an assistant or offer some help just so I can serve even more families.
Right.
That's definitely number one is growing and contributing finances to my business. Another is mentorship. I'd really like to at some point maybe do like an all women's sub team
Okay.
within DAG could be kind of cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, and I would love to help nurture new agents to try to help them get there because I feel like, it wasn't that long ago that I was a new agent too. So I feel like I could bring value to new agents, just kind of like laying out what I did and what I should have
For sure.
skipped, just like we talked about earlier. But next year I really want to buy a duplex. That's
Nice.
really important to me. I don't want to be a one-trick pony just in case. I want to have investment properties and investment portfolios. I think that that's really important. So I would say, like, obviously I'm going to stay in real estate for as long as possible, but having multiple streams of income is going to be really important
For sure.
to me moving forward. And then also giving back any knowledge that I have to other like-minded women is going to be important to me
I love
too.
that. That's exciting. Well, I'm super excited to see how that unfolds. And we'll check back a year from now to kind of see how the duplex planning process is going. We'll
We're
put that
working on
timeline
it.
on you right
Yeah,
now. I
I
love
love
that. That's
it.
exciting. I love that. If you could, knowing with the direction you're headed and ultimately what you want to achieve, and obviously I think we can all agree when you get into real estate, investments are always going to be a part of what you want to do. If you could look back compared to where you are now and talk to 18-year-old Sarah and give her some piece of advice to continue on the path that she was going, what is one thing you would want to tell her?
Oh my goodness. Well, if anyone knows me, like they knew I was crazy.
I think we all were at some point.
Yeah, I was crazy. At 18 years old, up until I left college, honestly, like I lived my life. I traveled a lot, I partied a lot, and whatever, got it out of my system.
Yep.
But to be honest, like I was kind of a late bloomer when it came to being successful. Like I didn't, when I was in school, I just got by. I never was the student that went out of my way to excel.
Hey, C's get degrees.
Yeah, exactly. But it was so shocking to me when I pulled this one out of my ass with real estate because I was like, whoa, I didn't even know I had this girl in me. And I think it's kind of fight or flight, like looking back,
For sure.
just not knowing that this is real life and like you have to pave your way and no one else is going to help you.
100%.
But sorry, this is all super long.
No, you're good. You're good. Want to hear it all? I want to hear it all.
But yeah, honestly, I wouldn't do anything different at 18. I feel like I'm so happy I had those moments to get all of that out of my system. So I'd say, go get it, girl.
Love it.
And but I would also keep in mind, like, when I was in college, I was making decent money bartending, maybe like 50,000 a year. Like,
it's great.
Not most college kids can't say that.
Hell no.
I did not save a dime. I went to Coachella, I went to Spain, I went to whatever. And I wish I would have just saved a little bit of money because it would have made this process a lot easier for me in a lot of ways. Like I could have initially invested in my business. I potentially wouldn't have had to have the second job. So I think maybe like being responsible and thinking about the future rather than, the whole cringy, like, oh, it's just living in the now.
That's
like
it. And I think that's what most of us do at that age anyway, right?
Yeah.
And I'll give you another perspective is if you did and you didn't have to go through those challenges, you may not have grown to where you got to now.
Yeah.
By having to experience them later in life. So there's always that other perspective you could look at. Obviously, looking at 18-year-old Sarah, it'd be kind of fun to see her doing her thing, which would be cool to think about.
Yeah, she was a fun time.
She was a blast in the glass. Love that.
Any of my college friends who are seeing this are laughing right now.
I love that. I think we've all had our degenerate moments, and me of course as well when I was younger. But in terms of the life you're looking to build,
yeah,
and when you look ahead. And something that we often talk about here at DAG is legacy. And it's a huge proponent of who we are as people, who we are as a team. And we hear it all the time about what Dean and Afro talking about legacy and what their goals are and what they're trying to leave behind. When you think of that word, what does it mean to you? And what is something that you want to be remembered for when it's all said and done?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, shout out to Dean and Afro because what they've built's totally amazing.
Right.
And if I could only do like a quarter of that, I would be totally happy. But I mean, obviously, like at some point, I really want to pour into women in real estate, as I mentioned before. So whatever that looks like, I'm really excited for it in the future. I want to be able to, be comfortable with my family. Like we don't have to have the most beautiful house on the street, but I just want security always.
Right.
And shout out to my family. My dad's a CPA, so he's really good with money. So he always made sure we were okay. And I just want to do that for my family too, whatever that looks like.
Love that.
And I also at some point want to get into some passions. Like I have had a few pit bulls and I've had great experiences with them. And I know that they're, ostracized sometimes from society.
Of course.
So if I could at some point have a space where I could have like a little foster pit bull farm, I'd be into that on the side as well.
All right.
So that's just kind of like a fun, funky, quirky thing that I would like to do. But basically, yeah. So if I can help animals and if I could help other women succeed in this industry, like that would make me really happy. All while having the means to do so would be fabulous.
That's amazing. That's
Yeah.
incredible. I was excited to kind of hear exactly what it is that you were looking forward to, because I know there are a lot of things that you're passionate about, and it's been amazing to see. You can kind of see it coming off of you and just kind of feeling the energy based on when you talk about it. So I appreciate you joining me today. It's been amazing. I can't wait to sit down with you again later. Thank you guys for joining us on another episode of Dag Life Podcast with Sarah Meester. We'll see you next time.
So fun. Yay!
Killed that.
Really?
Killed it.
Okay, sometimes I'm like, am I?
Nah. Killed it.
That was okay, great. Good. Yay, that was
Good
fun.
job.
That was actually really fun.
Super easy flow, right?
Yeah. Cool. Love it.